Hey everybody, my name is Kevin and this is your vibe of the day. Well, hey there, hey there, hey there, hey there. I hope you're well. I'm good. I hope you're good. I hope everybody's good out there in digital land. Right, let's get right to the card. It's a good one. They're all good. I can't say that I have yet to pull a card from this fantastic deck, Keepers of the Light Oracle cards with by Kyle Gray with artwork from Lily Moses. Anyway, going on our tradition of talking with the gods and the goddesses and the ascended masters, basically all the powerful ones in the spirit world. And Kali Ma is one of them. Kali Ma represents the mother force energy. She is all about death and rebirth. As you look at this image, you see that she is adorning what I can only imagine to be what are those Christmas plants that you have at the end of the year? Probably not those things. I forgot what the names are now. Those red ones you get, they'll be coming out. Poinsettias, there you go. My spirits just reminded me what they were. And then, of course, she's got a collar full of skulls and all kinds of adornment on her head. She's also got a very strong third eye, which is pointed sideways. So, in this image, we get this idea that Kali Ma is a force to be reckoned with. She is sort of considered to be a mother energy. She is fearless, which makes many of the male dominated egoic type of or archetypes rather fearful of her wrath. Many have described her in texts and philosophy as being one of these dark goddesses, one of these dark deities, but really she comes from the mother energy. And this is rather interesting because astrologers lately have been talking about this ancient goddess Eris, who apparently comes in and creates madness and mayhem and puts everybody to rights. So I would say if Kali Ma were a person, she would probably not be unlike a Mrs. Doubtfire or that type of a character, although Mrs. Doubtfire was not necessarily a woman, but anyway. And let's see, just a female, strong female archetype, similar to that of like Julie Sugarbaker or something like that. You know, one of those women that takes absolutely no prisoners and just lays it out, slays it out, says it as it is, just to protect people. So, what is this message saying? It's saying that fear, which is in all of us, is typically connected to things that we don't know and things that are contrary to what we have been taught or encouraged to believe. So, as we come up when we're like young and children and growing and sorting and experiencing and experimenting, we begin to get this good and bad, right and wrong, and for the most part, it's really good. You know, those who raise us, our ancestors, archetypes, do a great job of guiding the way forward so that we won't get into trouble. However, there are times when the unknown can be this ultra fearful, scary place. And it has also been known that folks who want to guide us in a certain direction that might not be for our highest good, but they're going to guide us there anyway, may take advantage of that and may emphasize, reinforce that fear. Right or wrong, these are just examples. All I would like for you to know is that fear is an emotion. It's real. It's a true emotion, similar to happiness, similar to joy, similar to abundance, similar to what you feel. It's fear is a feeling. The only way to dissolve it, to remove it, is to face it. So, what exactly is it? It is on the same neurological pathway as excitement, as that effervescent, oh my goodness, this is happening. Oh my, some people might feel that way right at the beginning of when they're about to get married, or they may feel that way when they discover that there's going to be a birth in the family. They may feel that way when they get given the you've passed your driving test. They might feel that way when they're about to walk out onto a stage to collect the diploma of some sort. Excitement and fear stimulate the same neurological responses within the physical body. So I'm going to put to you, my friends, that fear is just literally emotional energy vibrating from one part to the body to the other. Yes, there are physical sensations. You get some news that's unexpected. There are what I call the external goosebumps, where you feel it on the outside, and then there are internal goosebumps that make you feel like the world is about to fall out from underneath your feet. You can find people almost at the point where they want to faint. Maybe people do faint. The blood rushes from someplace in your body. There is this feeling of, oh my goodness, it washes over you. And then you breathe, you get into the present moment. And this is very important, especially when you're looking at fear. Get present right now, wherever you are. Sit, turn off your devices, turn off your distractions if you're feeling one of these emotions. And then you have this opportunity in that moment to make a decision about how you are going to move forward with it. What are you going to do in the present moment, in the right now, in this place of, oh, now what's happening? There are some things you can do something about. And in many of those situations that involve fear, it's of our own making. We've made these stories up that make us believe these things, and eventually we're going to become fearful of whatever it is we believe. For the times where they are unexpected, not quite part of the plan, and has the potential to go either way, and most of those unexpected chaotic moments, a car accident, you've just heard that somebody you loved and cared about passed on to the other side, any catastrophe of sorts, there are few times where that slight piece of chaos happens. The normal response, or I shouldn't say normal, because everything is normal, we just make it abnormal because it's different to what we believe is normal. The response, the typical response, is drama, chaos, oh my goodness, or the opposite, quiet, resolve, retreat. One of those two is a typical response to something that is shocking or unexpected. Then follows this small, I call it the gateway to getting there. There's this small space, a couple of breaths. And this is where I have now learned the power lives. Oh, okay. Because there is this opportunity that something shifted, something changed, something altered, something got in the way of what was going to happen, right? There can be, oh my goodness, I'm going to blah, 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 disaster. Or there can be, oh my goodness, this is an opportunity for me to change my mind and go in the direction I wanted to go in. Those two opportunities. When you're faced with something that abruptly happens. My now new way of being is take a deep breath. And long years ago, I learned this from Louise Hay herself. I'm fine. Everything's okay. And from this moment forward, All good will be available for me. All good will happen to me. All good will come of this. All good will be the order of the day. That's an affirmation that very quickly, I'm fine, everything's okay, and from this moment all good things happen. Period. Done. And at that point, you have actually set foot in the power of the now and made a declaration that nothing is going to turn you off, out, or back and beyond. Because the reality is, we can make any situation that is unexpected and fearful, which is what Kali Mara is talking about, facing fear. What's the prayer? Major spiritual changes are unfolding. This is your chance to soar. That's the chance to soar. Changing the narrative. If you begin to tell the story that's the same story, that's the typical story, that's the, oh my gosh, I got to tell somebody, I got to let somebody know. You go into that whole thing, that narrative. You're now opening the door for the thing that you thought was going to happen. You just attract it. You just say, okay, yeah, I'm going to get in that line of this is not going anywhere good. I'm going to get in that line of we're all going to fail, the boat's going to sink, and everyone's going to die. I'm going to get in that line of we can't do whatever we're doing, which is fine. And that is a choice. We've got free will. All of us have free will. We can choose it. So I'm hearing some of you say, because spirits are telling me, that, well, it's all very well for you to say this, and this, making all the assumptions that you might. And yeah, I'm sure it is. And I've said before, people who sit here in this light guided, hippy dippy, my dad would call it away with the fairies kind of place, it might be easy for us to say all this stuff and do all this stuff. But I wouldn't be really qualified to say it or do it had I not walked down that hallway and opened some of those doors and faced some of that stuff and looked it in the eye and then realized, wow, okay, I'll tell a quick story and then we'll get to keep the journey to the heart. There are often times in my now life that I wonder how it's all going to happen, and I get myself tangled up internally in this bunch of story about, am I going to be able to make it? Am I going to be able to do it? Is this going to happen? And most of us have a story of some kind of not good enough related thing. Not tall enough, not this enough, not that enough, not this enough, not blah, 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 blah. There are all of these not enough statements that get made. And you can plug that not enough plonk into any power source and you can have yourself a lovely ride to not something or another, right? When I start understanding that this is happening, this is going on, it's very subtle and it's all ego related. Let me just state that. It's the damn ego getting in the way, wants to cause trouble. It's that mischief maker. I don't know, religious scholars might call it the devil. Satan, evil, blah, 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 whatever. Wants to keep us in that space. A fear, because the ego cannot have you grow, cannot have you expand, cannot have you become this amazing person. That's the contrast. We come in perfect. We arrive perfect. We arrive with all the things that we need to have this incredible, amazing life. You look at children up to about 2.5, 3.5, and 4, it starts to do this thing. They are open, wide open, wide open, wide open, having the greatest time of their life. They can find all kinds of things to play make-believe with, and indeed they do. I think the veil between the physical and the non-physical for a 2-year-old, 3-year-old is right there. It's right in there. That's why I think youngsters want to know if there's monsters under the bed. You know, they want to sleep with the light on. Well, let's face it, if they came from spirit and they're now in a physical body, they've been in darkness. Now they're seeing lights happening. They're seeing things going on. And I'm sure in spirit world, there's scary situations too. I don't know. I can't remember any of them, but I'm sure there have been some. So the way forward, the way to work with the energy of Kali Ma is really seriously to look at what is happening, what you actually physically can control, and more importantly, what you have the power to change. If you stick with love, because love is on the opposite shelf to fear. If you stick with love and everything is about what you desire, everything's about what you want, everything's about lining up with your highest good, your euphoria, if you stick down that aisle and push everything aside and keep doing it, it takes a while, it's a habit, it's a practice. The fear has to figure out another way to go. Fear has to figure out another thing to do. Fear has to figure out what else, because there's this void. Once you've got rid of all that story and all that silliness and you've dumped out all those things you don't need, there's this big void, there's this big empty space. The challenge becomes, what do you replace that space with? Most people want to fill it back up with more stories. Most people want to get confirmation from friends that are continuing those stories to fill them all back up. Sit back. There is no other shoe that's going to drop. You manifested miracles by focusing on what your heart wanted you to go get, and keep doing it. See a desire, feel a desire, taste a desire in your mind, and the desire is right there. And then woof, let it go. The expectation, the feeling that it's coming, the feeling that you're going to get it, the feeling that you are all part of this huge powerhouse called the world, universe, is bigger than any fear could ever put in your place. You know, anyway, I think that makes sense. And it's time to move on. Yeah, I've talked about that for 15 minutes. We've got to get to things here. Journey to the Heart. We're on November the 3rd. It just amazes me how these months are going tickety, 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 tickety. It's going quickly. I feel like I am on a time train. We're expressing ourselves to the end of the year. Amusingly, it is amusing me that, you know, here we got October 31st, Halloween. Yep, put all the orange and the black away, and then here comes glitter for Christmas. Out it all comes. Let's decorate. And I was telling a friend of mine the other day, you know what? New Year's Day, we're probably going to start seeing lawn mowers and weed whackers and all kinds of yard material stuck out on the shelves for people to start getting in their gardens, because they want spring to be here 5 minutes flat. They might have a few rock salt bags. They might have a few snow blowers if you're in the northeast, or wherever you are where there's snow. But anyway, I'm thinking, wow, the calendar just goes whoosh, 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 whoosh. All right. November 3rd, the message is you haven't lost your place. Sometimes when life shifts and changes, it can really feel like we've lost our place. During those times when our lives are changing, we may feel out of tune, out of rhythm, out of balance, out of step. Maybe an old feeling is surfacing, clearing, so that we can learn something new and move forward into a new place. Maybe our attention is being diverted to a new focus so we can find the experience of another lesson. Sometimes the form or shape of our life is changing dramatically. The old picture is being erased so a new one can be drawn. Familiar people are leaving, new people are entering. We may ache, feel irritable, and doubt the course of the entire journey. We may doubt whether the magical way we were living was even real, or whether the magic will ever return. Just let the changes happen. Take extra loving care of yourself. Be attentive to what you need. The magic isn't gone. It hasn't disappeared. You're just going through a shift. That means things are moving and the movement is good. For now, it may feel like you can't find your place, but that's because your place is changing. When they say that change is good, they're not lying. Let's see. Oh. I'm I'm trying to think what our meditation is going to be about today. So, eyes down, palms up, and for this morning, take a big breath in. Let it out slowly and relax and release as you go. Breathe in. Breathe out and let go, relax. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in what you want. Breathe out what you need to release. Breathe in what's desired. Release what needs to be let go. And keep that breath, that's it. At the top of every inhale, there's a slight space where the air inside your body shifts, changes, and lets out and releases. Similar to life, release what is not working, what does not serve you, people, places, situations, stories, drama, nonsense, anything you do not wish to repeat, that you do not wish to look at. Exhale it, let it go, discard it. And just continue on your breath. You're breathing in and you're breathing out. Be mindful of this breath. Grateful for this breath. Good morning, hello. I've popped in. Yes, it's me, the alchemist. I'm finding these lovely communications with you to be quite delightful. We, because we are collective, it isn't just one person, one energy source, it is many. And the way it works is that energy comes from the source, from where you come from the extension. And because we have non-physical binds, meaning we don't have a body anchoring us to the space, we have just space itself, we're able to join together from source energy and use the delightful and beautiful souls who are willing to step forward and offer themselves up as keepers, if you will, space givers, if you will. It is a bit like in your world, you rent space temporarily for whatever you need, whatever you wish for, housing, meetings, whatever that is. And similar to how we are coming to you here, we are a gathering, a group of people who are literally taking the space of this young master, you know to be Kevin, who is part of a greater cause, who has stepped forward in the light and has joined with spiritual roots, which in this world is delightful and wonderful and quite lovely and quite kind and quite beautiful and quite joyful. It is. It truly, truly, truly is. And you will have heard him speak of near death, meaning the doorway between the life and the living and the death and the dying was opened for him as he is now to step through and rejoin the ethers and do the work from the other side. But instead, he said, no, I wish to continue this life that I thought I didn't wish to continue. And we said, yes, go. Yes, go. This is your choice. This is your destiny. We're simply showing you that it doesn't have to be that terrible. It doesn't have to be that awful. Life doesn't have to be that challenging. And with his returning to the physical place and space, the energies that are part of us came with him. Very quickly, there was a gathering of souls that came back into the physical along with the young master. And you will see, feel, and know those folks who have succumbed to physical ailments that have possibly caused them to look through the veil of life. It is a veil. It is it's just right there. It's just not really anything that is any big place. There's no long journey any place. It's just a transition from here to there. Boom. Like waking up and going to sleep. Boom. Like dreams. Boom. They are just right there. When you dream, you're still in your bed. But your mind and your spirit just goes off on journeys. The point I'm making to all of you is this. We are all going to be faced with rather challenging situations, as particularly right now. There is no place and no space on your planet that is not experiencing great contrasts between lovely, wonderful, great, fantastic, and the opposite. Oh my goodness, this is hell. Those contrasts are affecting only those who have lined up to them. So, my friends, the time is right now for you to choose what you line up with. It is your choice because you have that power. This is why the messages that come from the great master who has lent out his physical body for this communication continues to do the work of learning and sifting and sorting and becoming lighter and brighter and more clearer, more definite. The roots of his origin are being revealed slowly, 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 bit by bit, piece by piece, because there's still a choice. This young master is realizing that part of the alchemist energy of which we are, it is a bit like a village shows up inside of one person and does the vibrational work, and he repeats what we have tried to say as clearly as possible. And there are little tasks to doing that. It's a practice. He is realizing that there are many energies, great masterful energies, ascended masterful energies that have been connected before, which is why this communication is so very familiar and so easy and so soft and so bright, because it's familiar. And so you're questioning, well, how does all this work? And I want to experience that. And I hear some of you want to know who your guardian angels are. And I want, okay, so this is all part of the human physical conundrum, the physical conundrum that you face is your world has been steeped in instant ping gratification. Ping, turn buttons, and ping, here it goes. You have whatever you want. Ping, a touch of a button. Yes, 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 yes. That is all fabulous, fantastic, wonderful, brilliant, amazing. However, to develop, to lift, to sort, and to sift away all that is not serving your highest good takes, first of all, an intention. Declaring the intention. I proclaim, I intend that this day, and on you go with your proclamation and your intention. Then there is the stories that people make up. It has to be this way. You've got to face the wind. You've got to wait until the sun is at this angle and the moon is at that. Oh my goodness gracious me. No. An intention is simply setting it up. Here's the other lovely part of how this works. Spirit, source energy, the greatest source of all there is, can see, feel, and know and do exactly what you feel within your heart space. And simply, if your intention is not lined up with your heart space, if you are intending one thing but feeling the opposite, nothing will happen. If you're intending one thing and your heart is open to it, everything will be available. So the intention you have to find light within you, to develop it and work it, to expand it and lift it, to have more miracles of the highest good come towards you, you must intend to follow what is of your highest good, to be in appreciation for everything that comes to you, including the sunshine, including even the rain, including the contrast of cold weather, because you get to appreciate blankets and heat. You see, my friends, that's where it starts. Intend to be grateful for the blessings you receive. Many of your texts exemplify this. You sit at a table and you say, Grace, thank you for providing the food that we eat, and this and that and the other thing, and may God bless you, and blah, 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 and then 2 seconds later, the actions are the opposite. They change course. So when it gets said in scripture or it gets said at churches, may God be with you, God never leaves. God steps in where he's always been. The source energy is you, part of where you are, part of what you're doing. If you choose a less than satisfactory way of behaving, that's your choice. Doesn't get interfered with. There is no wrath. The wrath comes when you're shown a better way of being and you realize the way you've been isn't. The contrast of understanding, oh my goodness, oh good gracious, look what I've done. There are consequences to everything. And this message is to ask you to look at where you're contrasting, what you're contrasting to, where your greatness lives. And when you're grateful for your greatness, the fear that there's another way is that gone. Be grateful for your greatness. Be grateful for what you bring to the table that is huge. And with that, my friend, it's time to go. I love you. We will be back to say hello another time. Bring your hands to heart center. Smile on your face, gratitude in your heart, love everywhere around you. Lift your thumb knuckles to third eye center together with bow and say Namaste. Done. Oh, my friends, thank you, thank you, thank you. Alchemists, thank you. Angels, ancestors, thank you, thank you. Until next time, go with love, go with grace, and know that you are amazing. Bye.